I was told my whole life that I wasn't welcome. Not at birthdays, not at weddings, not even at my own family's dinner table. So when it was finally my turn to send out wedding invitations, I made sure every single one of them went to people who actually wanted me there. And my family wasn't on that list. My name's Aaron. I'm 31. And if you told me 5 years ago that my wedding day would turn into the quietest, most satisfying act of revenge I'd ever pull off, I would have laughed. I'm not the type who plans revenge or keeps score. I used to be the one who smoothed things over, the guy who'd say, "It's okay," even when it wasn't. But when you spend your life being treated like an afterthought, something inside you eventually changes. It doesn't explode, it freezes. You stop hoping they'll see you differently. You stop trying. One day you just realize that the door's closed and you're not opening it again. Growing up, I was the odd one out. My brother Mike was the golden boy, captain of the football team, the kind of guy teachers and parents bragged about. My sister Jenna was the life of the party. Popular, funny, always surrounded by friends. And then there was me, the quiet one, the bookworm. I liked chess, history, documentaries, things that didn't fit into their loud, showy version of what being part of this family meant. You'd think that would just make me the nerdy sibling, the one they tease but still love. Not in my family. For them, being different was a flaw, something to be fixed, or worse, ignored. The teasing wasn't playful. It was targeted, cruel in that way that's disguised as humor. "Lighten up, Aaron, it's a joke," was something I heard almost every day. Except the jokes were always about how boring I was, or how I'd probably end up alone. At first, I tried to brush it off. I told myself every family had its weird dynamics. But it never stopped. I'd get left out of family events constantly. They'd tell me after the fact, like it was no big deal. "Oh, we didn't think you'd want to come," or "It was just a small thing." Birthday parties, game nights, holidays, it became normal to hear about them secondhand. But the weddings were what really broke me. The first was Jenna's. I was 22. She called me a month before the big day. Fake smile plastered across her voice. "Hey, Aaron, listen, I just think it's better if you don't come. It's going to be a really normal wedding, not your kind of thing." I didn't even understand what that meant. Not my kind of thing. She hugged me afterward, like she was doing me a favor. I stood there, frozen, trying to process that my own sister didn't want me at her wedding. I didn't argue. I didn't cry, but I couldn't eat for days. When I asked my parents about it, Dad just shrugged. "She's the bride, her call." Mom added, "You wouldn't have enjoyed it anyway, sweetie. Too many people." I wanted to scream. I'm her brother. How is that too many people? But I didn't. I just nodded, because that's what I'd always done, swallow the pain and tell myself it didn't matter. Then came Mike's wedding 2 years later. I didn't even get a call this time. No conversation. No heads up. I found out on Facebook. A picture of my family, all dressed up, smiling, clinking glasses. The caption said, "Family is everything." That one hurt. I stared at that photo for a long time, my stomach twisting until it felt like I was going to be sick. Everyone looked so happy. Everyone except me, because I wasn't there. Again, not even a thought. You'd think that would have been the end, that I'd finally cut them off. But hope's a stubborn thing. It stays long after it should have died. I kept reaching out, birthday messages, Christmas cards, even the occasional phone call. Sometimes they'd respond, sometimes they wouldn't. And when they did, it was all surface-level politeness, small talk that felt like reading a script. "How's work?" "Still single." "You really need to get out more." Always followed by that fake laugh that sounded like pity. The last straw came one random Saturday. Mike was having a housewarming party, and I decided, stupidly, to go. I drove an hour to get there, holding a gift card and a smile like a peace offering. When he opened the door, the look on his face said it all. He hadn't expected me. Hey," he said awkwardly. "Mom said you probably wouldn't show." "I'm here," I said, forcing a grin. "Brought you something." He took the card like it was a bomb about to explode. Inside, the house was packed, laughter, music, the smell of barbecue. People I'd grown up around, but who now looked through me like I was invisible. I tried to mingle, to make conversation, but it was like yelling into an empty room. Everyone smiled politely, then turned back to their real friends. And then, the moment that killed the last bit of hope in me. Jenna, half drunk, laughing too loudly, shouted across the yard, "Hey, at least Aaron didn't ruin anything today. Must be a record." The whole table laughed. Nobody said a word to stop her. Not Mom, not Dad, not even Mike. I remember standing there, plastic cup in hand, feeling it crack under the pressure of my grip. I didn't say anything, didn't make a scene. I just turned around, slipped out the side gate, and left. That was the night I decided I was done. Not angrily, not dramatically, just done. A year later, I met Lisa. She was the kind of person who makes you forget all the bad things people ever said about you. She saw me, the real me. My weird interests, my bad puns, my long rants about space documentaries. She loved it all. For the first time in my life, I didn't feel like I had to apologize for existing. When I proposed, she cried. Not because she was surprised, but because she said she'd been waiting for that moment since the day we met. We started planning our wedding together, both of us wanting something small. Friends, chosen family, the people who actually made life feel worth living. One night, while we were making the guest list, Lisa asked, "What about your family? Do you want to invite them?" I stared at the list, at all the names of people who'd stood by me when my own blood didn't. And I thought about Jenna's smug little smirk, about Mike's Facebook post, about Mom's guilt trips and Dad's dismissive tone. "No," I said finally. "I don't." Lisa smiled softly and said, "Good, because I want this day to be about love, not obligation." Of course, word got out. It always does. A week later, I got a text from Mom. "Heard you're getting married. When are you sending our invites?" No congratulations, no warmth, just entitlement. I stared at the screen for a long time before typing back. There's no invitation. The explosion was immediate. Group texts lit up like a wildfire. Mom guilt-tripped. Dad barked orders. Mike sent some angry paragraph about family loyalty. Jenna posted a vague Facebook status that said, "Funny how some people forget where they come from. Hope they enjoy their little party without real family." I ignored them all. I didn't even open most of the messages. Our wedding day came, and it was everything I'd ever wanted. Beautiful, simple, filled with laughter. The people who showed up were the ones who'd been there through everything. When Lisa walked down the aisle, smiling through tears, I realized something. I wasn't missing anything. For the first time in my life, I didn't feel like an outsider. I felt chosen. Then came a cherry on top. After the ceremony, one of our older neighbors, Mr. Halverson, waved me over, grinning like a kid who just found something juicy. "Aaron, you're going to want to see this," he said, holding up his phone. There it was. A flood of Facebook posts from my family, Jenna, Mike, and even Mom, all melting down in public. Jenna said, "Can't believe my own brother would exclude us from his wedding after everything our family has done for him." Someone commented, "Didn't you exclude him from yours?" No reply, just a bunch of angry emojis. Mike's post was worse. "Guess Aaron forgot who raised him. Maybe he'll remember when he's alone someday." The top comment read, "You didn't invite him to your wedding either, dude." And then Mom's, "Some people forget who loved them first," accompanied by a blurry old family photo. I laughed, actually laughed, because standing there, surrounded by people who did love me, with Lisa's hand in mine, it hit me, they weren't my family anymore. They were just people I used to know. The next morning, my phone started vibrating nonstop. Voicemails, missed calls, texts. I made the mistake of listening to one. Mom's voice, sharp and cold. "Aaron, you need to call me back right now. You're going to regret cutting off your family. No one else will love you like we do." Then Jenna's, "Hope your sad little party was worth it, traitor." Mike's was just a long sigh followed by, "You'll come crawling back. You always do." But I didn't. I blocked them all. A week later, they showed up, unannounced, at my house. It was a Wednesday morning. I was working from home. Lisa was making breakfast, and then there was this frantic knock at the door, loud enough to shake the frame. I looked through the peephole, and there they were. Mom with a fake casserole, Dad glaring, Jenna in sunglasses, Mike scrolling his phone like he was bored already. "Hi, sweetheart," Mom said, sugary sweet. "We thought we'd come talk, like a family." "No thanks," I said through the window. "We're busy." Dad stepped forward. "Aaron, enough. We're not leaving until you come out here." Lisa appeared behind me, nervous. "They're not going to just leave, are they?" "No," I said. "They're not." Mom's smile cracked. "This isn't you, Aaron. You're not this cold." Jenna chimed in. "She's poisoning you against us," nodding toward Lisa. That was it. I opened the window wider. "No one poisoned me. You did that yourselves." The fake smiles vanished. Mike snapped, "Grow up, man. You're throwing away your real family over hurt feelings. You didn't want me at your weddings. You didn't want me at holidays. You made your choice a long time ago," I said calmly. "Now I've made mine." "You'll regret this," Mom hissed. "You'll regret cutting us out." I smiled. I already have everything I need. Then I closed the window. The banging started seconds later. Fists on the door. Yelling. Threats. Lisa gripped my hand. shaking, and whispered, "Should we call the police?" "Yeah," I said. "Call them." By the time the sirens arrived, they were trying to force the door open. I stepped outside as two officers pulled up. Mom rushed forward, all crocodile tears. "He's our son. We're just trying to talk to him. She's brainwashing him." The officer raised a brow. "So you try to force entry?" "No," Mom stammered. He wouldn't let us in." Dad stepped up, puffed out his chest. "We have a right to see him." The cop sighed. "Sir, that's not how this works. He's an adult. If you keep showing up, you could be charged with harassment." And I said, clear and calm, "I'd like to press charges, and I want a restraining order." The silence that followed was perfect. You could hear the wind in the trees. Mom's face went pale. "You don't mean that?" "I do," I said. "You're not my family anymore." They kept talking, trying to guilt me, trying to shame me. But it was over. The officers took statements, gave them a warning, and made it clear that next time, they'd be arrested. I filed the restraining order that same afternoon. The house was quiet after that. Too quiet at first. No calls, no messages, no posts. Just silence. But for the first time in my life, silence didn't feel empty. It felt peaceful. Over time, that peace filled with something better. Real family. Friends who cared. Lisa's parents, who called me son without hesitation. Neighbors who dropped off casseroles when they heard what happened, just because they wanted to help. My coworkers who threw a surprise, found family barbecue. Months later, Lisa and I hosted a cookout in our backyard. The sun was setting, music was playing, and people I actually love surrounded me. I looked around, at Lisa laughing with her friends, at kids running through sprinklers, and realized something simple but powerful. They hadn't just missed my wedding. They'd missed everything good that came after. And I didn't miss them at all. Because the truth is, family isn't blood. It's the people who show up, who choose you even when they don't have to. And on that quiet evening, hand in hand with the woman who'd chosen me every single day since we met, I finally said it out loud. Words I've been waiting my whole life to believe. I'm free.